Good morning. This morning we are going to look at isoquants. But before that, the last time we met, we talked about increasing returns to factor. We said two main methods are used to explain increasing returns to factor. I mentioned diminishing returns and then isoquants. So this morning we are going to look at what an isoquant is. Isoquant. Isoquants. An isoquant is a locus of points that joins the combinations of inputs that gives the same level of output. What this simply means is that before a producer will produce, the producer must combine some inputs. These inputs are land, labor, and capital. So isoquant simply talks about a curve or a line that joins all the various input combinations that gives the same level of output. Good. So we are going to look at how an isoquant curve look like. An isoquant curve is convex to the origin. So we are going to combine capital and labor. If you want to produce at point A, we shall combine capital and then labor. If you want to produce at point B, you can decrease capital and then increase labor. If you want to produce at point C, you can further decrease capital and then increase labor. So this means that a firm must substitute one input in order to produce output. We are moving on to the characteristics of an isoquant. One feature of an isoquant is it slopes downward from left to right. So one feature is that isoquant slopes downwards from left to right. This is an isoquant curve. It means that before the firm will produce, the firm must substitute one input in place of the other. Another characteristic of an isoquant is the same isoquant or different isoquant gives different levels of output. So we can say if you want to produce at point A here and then point B, this is the initial capital, initial labor. And then if the firm wants to produce at point B, it must substitute some amount of capital and then increase labor to produce at point B. The next feature of an isoquant is an isoquant is dense in plane. It means we can have several isoquants. Isoquant can be two or more. Isoquant can be two or more. It means we can have two or more different kinds of isoquants. The next characteristic of isoquant is isoquants do not intersect. What this simply means is that if this is the first isoquant curve, there shouldn't be another isoquant curve that intersects one another. It is wrong. It means isoquants do not meet. We can have several isoquants, but they shouldn't intersect. And then the last one I will talk about is isoquants are convex in nature. Isoquants are convex. It means the shape of an isoquant look like this. It shouldn't be concave. Concave is wrong. Isoquants are always convex to the origin. Now we are going to look at what a product line is. A product line. Product line. Product line. A product line is a line that joins the various combinations of isoquants. It simply means a product line combines two or more isoquant curves. So let's look at how a product line curve look like. Product line curve. This is how a product line curve look like. So there can be several isoquant curves. This is first isoquant curve. Second one. So label 1, label 2, label 3. At the same capital combination, label increases from L1 to L3 to produce different levels of outputs at output A, B, and C. So the main difference between an isoquant and product line is that an isoquant is just an input combinations that yields the same level of output, whilst a product line is a line that joins various isoquant curves. Various isoquant curves. So let's look at how the long run product line curve look like. The long run product line curve look like. Is it pause? Okay. As I said, we have long run product line curve and then short run product line. So the two main types of product line are 1. Short run product line, and then long run product line. So let's look at short run product line. So as I said previously, in the short run, there are two inputs, fixed input and variable input. So if you want to increase production, it means it is only the variable input that can be changed to increase production. So in the short run, one input, which is capital, should be fixed. So capital should be fixed, and then labor is variable. So if you want to increase production, it means we can increase the labor combinations in order to increase production. This is the product line curve. In the short run, capital is fixed, labor is variable. So if you want to produce 20 units of the commodity at the same capital combination, labor should be increased from 0 to L1. And then if you want to increase production to 30 units, it means we have to increase labor from L1 to L2. And then if you want to further increase production to about 40 units, labor should be further increased to L3. Go. So in the short run, this is how the product line curve look like. It means we have one fixed input, which is capital, and then labor, which is variable. Now let's look at long run product line. The next one is long run. Since in the long run all inputs are variable, there isn't any sort of fixed input. We don't have fixed input in the long run, since the time is so long that all input can be changed or varied to suit production process. So in the long run, we have two input combination, capital and labor. So if you want to produce different levels of output, it means we have to increase capital combination and then at the same time labor to get different units produced. So this is 30 units, 40 units. If you want to increase production to 30 units, we increase capital and then we increase labor. If you want to produce at 40 units, we increase capital and then we increase labor. So in the long run, this is how the product line curve look like. We have capital, we have labor. Since these inputs are all variable in the long run, production can be increased to suit changing conditions of the markets. So with this, we have looked at the differences between isoquant curve and then product line. I said an isoquant is an input combination that joins those inputs to give the same level of output, whilst the product line is a line that joins various isoquant curves. I also mentioned that we have two main types of product line. We have short run product line and then long run product line. In the short run, one input is fixed and then the other is variable. And then in the long run, all inputs are variable. So in the long run, if you want to increase production, it means you must increase both capital and then labor. So at this juncture, if you have any questions, any discussions, you can meet me live. So if you have any questions, you can meet me live on Internet Study Meet platform, so that you have any suggestions, you can put it there. You can also send me an email. Let's quickly run to isocost. 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 Isocosts are locus of points of combinations of capital and labor that give the same level of what? Costs. So we are going to look at factors affecting productivity of labor. What can increase productivity of labor or can decrease productivity of labor. So isocosts are all those costs that are incurred on the combinations of capital and then what? Labor. Factors affecting productivity of labor. Factors affecting productivity of labor. Productivity simply refers to output per unit of the factor of production employed. When we talk about productivity, it's just talking about total output produced per unit of labor employed. We all know that it is labor that produces goods and services. So let's look at some factors that can increase productivity of labor and then at the same time can decrease productivity of labor. These factors are known as factors affecting productivity of labor. The first one we can talk about is availability of resources. So availability of resources. Resources refers to all those raw materials that are used to produce goods and services. So if resources are available, it will help to increase productivity. But if resources are not there, productivity will be low. The next one is technology. Technology. Technology refers to the method or process that are used in productivity. It can also refer to all those machineries, equipment, tools that aid production to increase. So lack of technology will decrease productivity. Availability of technology will increase productivity. The next one is quality and quantity of labor. So quality of labor. Labor refers to all human and mental effort that are used to produce goods and services. I mentioned that we have two types of labor, skilled labor and then unskilled labor. Both skilled labor and unskilled labor helps to increase production. But if labor is not skilled, it means productivity will affect productivity, and then productivity will be low. But if labor is skilled, labor is going to be efficient, and then this will increase productivity. And then the next one is education and training. Education and training. So under labor training, we have formal training for labor and then informal training for labor. If labor goes through all the necessary training and education, labor becomes efficient, and then this helps to increase production. But if labor has low level of education or training, it will affect productivity of labor. The next one is better wages and salaries. Better wages and salaries. Labor is motivated whenever there is an increase in wages and salaries, and then this urge them to produce more. But when wages and salaries are low, productivity is also low because it discourages them from producing more. The last one I will talk about is working conditions of labor. Working conditions of labor. When labor works under favorable working conditions like proper ventilation, there is free canteen, health facilities, it increases the productivity of labor. But when there is poor conditions of working conditions of labor, it affects the productivity of labor. So with this, we have gotten to know all those factors affecting productivity of labor. If you have any suggestions, any questions, you can email me or you can meet me on Internet Study Mate platform so that we can chat over there, and then I'll give you further notes on on this website, internetstudymate.com. Good morning.